Hi there and welcome to another comparison video. Today we're going to have a look at some smaller yo-yos, and I took a fairly broad definition of smaller, but basically anything that's substantially smaller than a standard shutter yo-yo. So here I have the standard original version of the shutter, half swap. And we're going to have a look at the Snack by Recess, which is, as you can see, a bit smaller. The T9 by MagicYoyo. The brand new Yoyofriends Roundabout, which hasn't been officially released yet, but is about to. The Arc1 Gemstones. The steel shutter. And the Lathed Back design Lagrange, which is also a bit smaller with the rims on and a lot smaller without the rims on. So that's what we're going to have a look at today. I'm going to briefly throw them around. I will tell you some of my conclusions, and after that I did show you some other yo-yos that might fit the category, but are not as readily available as these 6. So sit back, have a good look, enjoy yourself, and I'll talk to you at the end of the trick section.
First, we go through the trick White Buddha, which has a bunch of different movements and doubling up on string, and usually slows the yo-yo down by quite a bit if you don't play it very accurate. From there on, we move on to a speed combo. Going through this, if the yo-yo doesn't have a lot of power, or if you play inaccurate, then it slows down by quite a bit, and won't bind very well at the end. On to testing how well a yo-yo finger spins. And doing a couple of grinds just to see how it does in those. First up, the Arc Gemstones. The gemstones play fairly well. They go through most combos fairly easily. It's a pretty wide yo-yo, although small in diameter, which means that it doesn't have a lot of spare power. So at the end of a combo, the bind tend to be a little bit slower. But on finger spins, without the caps, it finger spins wonderfully, very long, even for a normal yo-yo. The plastic body makes for comfortable and good grinds, and even thumb grinds can be done at a slight angle if you can manage to get your thumb into that little hole. This is all without any caps on the yo-yo. Next up, the steel shutter. I've talked about this one before. A smaller steel version of the regular shutter. The yo-yo manages most tricks fairly well, but there seems to be an issue with the bearing where no matter how often I clean it, at an instant it will return to responsive. Other than that, the yo-yo does fairly well, even doesn't slow down too much, can go through most tricks, even finger spins quite decently despite the somewhat sticky finish on this one. But as you can see, the sticky finish on it doesn't really allow it for grinds, although thumb grinds are possible. With the bearing acting up so much, it won't really allow it, because as soon as you pull it up to land the thumb grind, it'll go back to the hand. The Recess Snack, which was primarily designed as a pocket yo-yo. It's more narrow than most full-size ones, and slightly smaller diameter, but plays very well. It doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel like a brick on a string, it doesn't feel like there's something hefty at the end of the string. It plays mostly like a regular sized yo-yo. Even for things like grinds and finger spins do fairly well. But because of the big flat cup, finger spins are a little wobbly, but they're not too bad for the yo-yo that it is. Even and thumb grinds and regular grinds, just excellent. The finish is good, the landing zones are good, the thumb area to land the thumb grinds on is nice and overhanging lip that is easy to catch on your thumb. The MagicYoyo T9. This is the cheapest yo-yo in the bunch, but it's no slouch. This yo-yo has plenty of power. It plays completely like a full-size yo-yo. It's slightly smaller than most, but it has the same kind of weight, which does make it feel a little heavy. It is not a fast-playing yo-yo. It'll get through all your tricks just fine, you just won't feel like you're blazing through them. But it does have plenty of power to get back to your hand at the end. Finger spins, not easy because of the domed sticker that's on the yo-yo, but thumb grinds are easy and regular finger grinds are not a problem either. The Yoyofriends Roundabout. Slightly smaller. This is the widest yo-yo in the group today. Full size width, but around the same diameter as the snack. It plays like a full-size organic style yo-yo. It feels comfortable in the hand, plenty of power, plenty of stability. I wouldn't want to do horizontals with it, but other than that it plays well. Finger spins, okay-ish, flat cup again, so it tends to wobble a little, but nothing abysmal. Same for finger grinds, they're just fine. Really, this is just a good, all-round, slightly smaller yo-yo. Now the Lathed Back design Lagrange, but with the competition rims today. At first, at least. This is a fast, light playing yo-yo. This thing really wants to move on the string. It has quite a bit of power because of the oversized rims, or the bigger rims that you put on. But it's not overly big. It's around the same size as the snack, but a little wider. Finger spins are not bad, but it has a huge spike in the middle, which makes it hard to land. But those do have the advantage that you can do a pull start finger spin, which is also fun. It's fun to mess around with, but fairly difficult to land on a regular style finger spin throw. Grinds, not so easy. The Delrin rims are slick and the titanium is a little sticky for grinds. And thumb grinds are very difficult. They can only be landed on the inside of the titanium, which is a very small area. But when you do, it holds out fairly well. And the last one in the series, the Lagrange, but without competition rims, which makes it very small. Despite its tiny size though, spin times and stability are really quite good. You need to play slower when you play it because it's so tiny and landing it on the string can be harder, but it actually goes through almost all of my speed combo, except for the very last one or two moves where, well, it's just not wide enough to land on all three of the strings right there. This happens almost every time. It's just too narrow for things like that. Finger spins are possible. Not easy, but possible. And grinds, finger grinds are just, don't do them. The titanium is slightly sticky. But for thumb grinds, with a little bit of practice, you can land it and still do a thumb.
Alright, time to wrap this up. So, like I said, the baseline I was going for was the shutter. Now, this is the regular shutter, the OG shutter. And all of the yo-yos I've been looking for, or that I've been looking at, either mostly had a smaller diameter. So some of them might have been as wide or a little bit wider. than the shutter. So I'm going to go through each one of these one by one and give you a couple of possible alternatives if you can find them, because the alternatives that I'm showing are not always the easiest yo-yos to get, which is why I didn't do the full trick set with them. So to start off with, the Arc1 Gemstones. Really fun yo-yo, tiny, but the diameter is small, so it lacks quite a bit of power, and doesn't always like string doubling up. It slows down quite a bit because of this. One of the nicest pocket yo-yos though that I've looked at today, and by far the best one at finger spinning. This yo-yo comes with optional different types of caps. I like them without caps best so far. Easiest to finger spin with and to work with in some ways. Now, this is an expensive yo-yo. This is a $120 yo-yo. So it's pricey, but it can still be found, and it's a really neat concept. Not the best performer, but possibly one of the funnest yo-yos that I've looked at today. Yoyofactory Steel Shutter. Yoyofactory Steel Shutter is also expensive. It's a $120 yo-yo. I like it, but I would have liked it a lot more if it came with a non-flat bearing. The current bearing that's in it is a flat bearing, and well, it tends to bind at an unexpected moment, and it really annoys me. I've cleaned this bearing at least 5 times so far, and each time it returns to being responsive fairly quickly. So great yo-yo. Would have been a lot better with a better bearing, and since it's an A-size bearing, good bearings, and especially concave bearings and such, are hard to find for this one. So great, but kind of annoying at the same time. Had to throw the cat out of the room. A fun alternative, if you can find one, is the Yoyofriends titanium prototype. It's a small yo-yo. It's about the same diameter as the steel shutter, but a bit wider, and takes a regular C-size bearing, which makes getting a replacement a lot easier. I like this one a lot. This one's been anodized. I did this myself, but they come raw. At the moment, these are not for sale anywhere, but Yoyofriends have announced that at some point they will bring them back for another run. Also an expensive yo-yo because it's titanium. Expect to pay, I think, a little under $200 for this if you can find it there. But my favorite alternative, if you can find it, the Yoyofactory Lowerkase. This is a steel yo-yo, just like the steel shutter. It's a little bit bigger. The diameter is a little bit bigger, only like a millimeter or 1.5 millimeters. It's a little bit wider, but not by like a crazy amount. But also steel, and plays a lot more friendly. Spin times and power is all similar to the steel shutter, but if you can find one, these sold at the Yoyofactory sale for like, I think I paid $35 for mine. That's a great price for a steel yo-yo. If you can find one, get it. It's absolutely worth it. It's probably one of my favorite pocket yo-yos, and I have quite a few. Recess Snack is one of the best pocket or undersized yo-yos you can use. It's just a great all-round yo-yo. It's a lot of yo-yo in a small package. It plays almost the same as every other full-sized yo-yo. I have another recess yo-yo, which is the Tropic Alien. It plays almost the same as that. Price not too bad, around $40. Great yo-yo, great price. If you're looking for a pocket yo-yo, this is honestly a no-brainer. As an alternative, if you can find one, I got my hands on a G2 or G squared Decade. As you can see, it is almost exactly the same size. The finish is a little nicer. It has a little bit more power, but even the shapes are fairly similar. It has a little bit more power. It's a little smoother, but not by much. Great, a bit more expensive, harder to find because of G2's drop schedule and the way that you have to pay lots of attention and get lucky to get one. Or if you can trade for one, might be worth it. This is a great pocket yo-yo as well. The cheapest and most easy to get out of the whole bunch is the MagicYoyo T9. It's about the same size as the snack. It feels a little heavy on the string, but it's less than $20. It comes with a responsive and an unresponsive bearing if you buy it directly from MagicYoyo. If you buy it directly from MagicYoyo, it comes with responsive, unresponsive yo-yo string, the whole package. I think it's like $16. Don't quote me on that, but it's around that price. Great for a pocket yo-yo. Cheap, easy to get. Honestly, if you just want to get a budget option, get this one. But it does feel a little bit like a brick on a string. That said, great for relaxed play. If you don't want to go fast, if you just want to practice your tricks, it's great for that. It's not the most stable, but that has its charm. It makes it more suitable for things like regeneration. Great buy. Now we get into where there's a lot of different alternatives. I have a lot of yo-yos that are around the same size. So the newly released Yoyofriends Roundabout. I got this in a surprise package. I didn't know what was going to be in it. This is one of the yo-yos that was in it. It's a nice little organic. As you can see, it's about the same type of organic as the T9 from MagicYoyo. Just round. There's a little line here, but there's no real straight curves. Everything is comfortable and round. A little step by the response area, but that's it. Great yo-yo. Pretty good for a pocket. It's a little bigger than the other ones we've mentioned so far, but great yo-yo. Feels mid. It doesn't feel fast. It doesn't feel slow. It's just a comfortable throw around. And I don't know what it's going to cost yet. They haven't released it on its own yet, but I don't think it will be very expensive. So I'm looking forward to finding out more about it. But great yo-yo. Good alternative would be maybe the 50/50 by Dressel Designs if you can find one. He does runs of these every now and then. I got mine in, I think, a trade 50/50 because it's 50 millimeters diameter and 50 millimeters wide. So it's a little wider than the Roundabout, quite a bit actually, but it's just a really comfortable, bouncy, all-round organic throw. My personal favorite in this range is the Gway throws Daredevil. I think there might still be some B grades available on the website. This thing costs around $50, $60. It's a bit more, it's like a cross between an organic and an H shape. It's about the same width and also around the same diameter, but it plays a bit more powerful. It's a little more stable. I just really like this yo-yo. It comes with a D bearing. Lots of power, snappy response, great yo-yo. And then if you can find this one, because it's not up for sale anymore, but I see it traded and such every now and then, the Yoyofriends Baryon. Now the Baryon is a small bimetal yo-yo. It's about the same size as the Roundabout. It just has a lot more power and stability. It plays faster. I like it better than the Roundabout, but the Roundabout is very good. And last but not least, the Lathed Back design Lagrange. This was my first mini yo-yo. It's probably still my favorite. Well, actually, the Bangarang is my first mini yo-yo. And one of these is still my favorite. I wouldn't be able to choose if I wanted to. These are great. They're stable, they're fast. They're actually a lot more quiet than I thought it would be. With the rims on, they have a little vibe, but nothing that bothers play or slows the yo-yo down. And of course, with the rims off, these are great, stable, long spinning mini yo-yos, but very mini. You need to see these compared to the gemstones. The gemstones are quite a bit, have a bit more diameter, and are like at least half times wider, or like 50% wider than the Lagrange and the Bangarang, which are the same width. Lagrange is a bit more of an O-shaped or an organic mini, whereas its little brother, or its older brother, I guess, came out first. The Bangarang is a bit more of an H-shape. These are tiny. They're titanium, which means if you even use them in the small format, they're hard to damage. They'll take scratches, but usually not dents or dings. They won't get extra vibey because they get hit. And they have the option of the swappable rims. For instance, I had the pink rims on the Bangarang earlier, but the blue rims pop on just as easily. There. I think both are still up for sale in some stores. I think Yo-Yo Expert still has the Lagrange, and I thought Yo-Yo Sam still has the Bangarang. But be warned, these are pricey. The Bangarang as a normal package costs $300 and comes with the 3D printed rims, which are pretty good, but not as smooth as the Delrin rims that I have on right now. And the Lagrange without rims comes at a hefty $200. I love these, and I think they're worth the money, but it's a lot of cash. So that's a wrap, I think. I hope you got something out of it, and tune in next time. See you later.
Baby, read the fine print. I've got baggage and it's all Gucci. Don't get too attached to me. Everybody act like the answer. One love like in the movies. Wasting precious time assuming. Were we made to fall? No, I'm not lonely when solo and solely exploring what I need. Cause dozens of times I swear that I knew when the wisdom was scanty. Doesn't mean I was broken so open, I gave until empty. Got it all back by myself, no nobody can tempt me. If I turn off, I breathe in, embrace it on my own. Can't keep making exits from the pressure. Lessons after lessons, had to question these glaring design flaws. Can't keep love built from a love song. No, I'm not only with solo and solely exploring what I need. Cause dozens of times I swear that I knew when the wisdom was scanty. Doesn't mean I was broken so open, I gave.